What if one of the best ways to make money with photography in 2026 is something you can start without a studio, fit around a day job, and eventually grow into a serious business? It's not weddings or headshots. It's built around real experiences, repeat clients, and work that generative AI can't fake. And it might not be what you think it is. Welcome back to Adorama TV. My name is Gary Hughes, and what I'm talking about is event photography. Hold on, hear me out. If you're into photography and looking to make some money with it, I'm about to make one hell of a compelling argument for why corporate event photography may be the perfect side hustle that you can grow into a serious business. First, the market is huge. Business event generated 1.3 trillion in direct spending worldwide in 2025, and the United States represents 400 billion of that. Just for context, total US wedding event spending was about $100 billion in 2025. Obviously, that's not all photography, but it does mean that there is a gigantic economy around companies gathering people together for everything from trade shows and grand openings to holiday parties, and all those events need photography. There's plenty of work to go around, and that creates a huge opportunity for photographers who are looking to grow a business. Next, event photography is much less likely to be replaced by generative AI than many other areas of photography. I'm not going to call it anything AI proof. Who knows what the future holds, but corporate event clients don't just want pretty pictures. They want a record of who was there and what actually happened in the room. They need truthful photos. AI can create a picture that looks like a conference, no problem. And it'll change how we cull, edit, and market this work, but it can't capture the actual moment truthfully. You still need a real human photographer for that. Next, event photography is a great entry point into professional photography. You don't need a studio, and the equipment is usually pretty minimal compared to other genres of photography. Most of the time, unless it's a larger job, I take two bodies, two lenses, one on-camera flash, and one off-camera flash. It's a pretty light kit. Event photography works as an entry point into professional photography because it's a great side hustle. Plenty of events happen outside regular business hours, networking events, awards dinners, galas, fundraisers, grand openings, and company parties are often held at night or on weekends. Conferences and trade shows can require weekdays, but there are plenty of event photography jobs you can fit around a day job while you get started. It's also relatively easy to gain experience, build a portfolio, and build your network at the same time. Using whatever gear you have, volunteer to photograph a local charity event, a small professional meeting, a BNI group, or a chamber luncheon. Make sure they don't already have a paid photographer, agree on what you're providing, and then get permission to use the photographs in your portfolio. You'll be honing your craft, building a portfolio, and meeting great professional contacts at the same time. Side note, and this is important, if you don't have backup gear or experience with corporate events, please don't take on large events for money. Running a business means backups, insurance, contracts, and professionalism. Gear breaks, cards fail, and a paying client shouldn't suffer because you only brought one of everything. Volunteering at smaller community events like a charity 5K or a holiday parade is a responsible place to start. When a paying opportunity comes along that you can handle, that's a good time to rent what you need, upgrade your gear, or pick up a backup camera body. And this is where used gear makes a ton of sense. Adorama has a massive selection of used gear, including some very affordable cameras and lenses that would be perfect for corporate events. Professional DSLRs like the Nikon D750 and Canon 5D Mark IV aren't new, but they're still excellent tools. The move to mirrorless has put a lot of proven DSLR gear on the used market. And buying used keeps your startup costs down, makes professional backup gear much more affordable, and keeps perfectly capable equipment in circulation. If you check the description, I put together a list of some great used cameras, lenses, and flashes that would be a good fit for event photography. Now, here's where corporate event photography becomes more interesting than just a collection of random gigs. Corporate event clients can end up being great repeat clients. Companies and associations hold recurring events, right? The person who hired you for one conference may also be responsible for quarterly meetings, an awards dinner, a leadership retreat, a trade show, and next year's conference. Here's one example of how we take advantage of that in our studio. Whenever a corporate client inquires, we write down the date they contacted us. This is a good indicator of what their planning window might be for the same event next year. Then we set a reminder for next year to follow up the week before that date. Usually we slide into their inbox right around the time they're thinking about booking things. It's incredibly simple, it's great customer service, and most importantly, it works. Great sales practices and great customer service, they seem to overlap a suspicious amount of the time. In fact, we have a whole system for making sure we keep our corporate clients, and I've turned it into a free resource page I want you to have. If you sign up for my weekly newsletter, Photographers Only, I'll send you a free guide on how to turn corporate clients into repeat clients. On top of that, you'll get one email from me every week with my latest videos, information about where I'm going to be speaking, and a weekly professional business tip. Check the link in the description to sign up and get the free guide. Finally, and this is my favorite reason event photography is such a great business, it's incredibly scalable. If you want to keep it as a side hustle and sock away some extra cash, that's perfect. It's also a fantastic additional revenue stream for an existing photography business. If you have a full-time job that has nothing to do with photography, you can take on the events that fit your schedule. But if you want to scale this into a six-figure business and beyond, you absolutely can. Once you become a trusted service provider for a corporate client, you're in a position to solve more of their problems. Event photography can grow into event headshots, photo booths, portrait stations, and video. As a trusted vendor, you can reach out to your company contact and suggest other services for their event during that same planning window we talked about earlier. You might be amazed at how often simple event photography coverage can grow into a whole media package. If your event offerings grow beyond photography, you'll have the inside track to recommend more options to clients who already know and trust you. And now we get to the really interesting part. You don't have to personally shoot all of it or any of it. If you build a boutique wedding or portrait business around your name and your personal style, the client usually wants you, the artist. Corporate event clients are usually less concerned with which individual photographer shows up. They want someone who is professional and prepared, pleasant to work with, who does a great job. Event photography is much closer to a commodity than portraits or weddings. And I know that doesn't sound sexy, but from a business point of view, it's fantastic. If you build great systems and strong client relationships, you can hire other professionals to photograph jobs with you and for you. You can cover two events at the same time. You can send a team to a larger conference. You can bring in a video specialist or someone to run a photo booth without having to become an expert in every service yourself. You can even make money while you're on vacation. Another important side note, your client communication needs to set the right expectations if you plan to hire out jobs. The client expects you should be there. But if you plan to send a trusted professional, make sure the client knows from the beginning. When a corporate event client inquires with us, we check availability with our trusted subcontractors. Once we confirm someone's available, we respond with, "Great news, a photographer from our team is available for your event." If you build good systems, find a couple of shooters you can trust, you can start to really be an entrepreneur instead of always being the one horse pulling the cart. Listen, event photography requires technical skill, people skills, backups, insurance, organization, and the ability to stay pleasant while someone changes the group photo location for the 17th time. I'm not promising easy money, but you can start without a studio, practice in your community, build a reliable used kit, and fit a lot of corporate gigs around a day job. You can easily turn new clients into recurring work, add new services, hire other photographers, and grow beyond your own calendar. Seriously, I think event photography may be the most underrated way to make money in photography right now. It's more than just one event and a check. It's the opportunity to become the person and eventually the company that a client calls every time people gather. Don't forget to sign up for photographers only at the link in the description so I can send you the free guide on turning corporate clients into repeat clients. And if you're building your first professional kit, check the used department right here at Adorama to save some money on some really great gear. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.